you today how I created the watercolor of the feather. If you followed me at all on my blog, you know that I'm fascinated by feathers. When I'm drawing this stem quill from the quill to the tip, I made a little bobble there, but don't let those distract you from continuing. Here I draw barbs randomly, not evenly, but randomly along the sides, larger at the bottom than they were at the top. And it might be a good idea to practice drawing your flames. I start out by making a little drip or a little water teardrop shape, and then the flames just seem to occur naturally after that. So a few practices and you'll get the hang of it. And there's not any right and wrong, so just do your thing. Here's an example of the direction I'm headed for the larger work, just a small example. Now I'm filling in the one where I had the barbs. We're going to add the flames to the barbs, and you know, just each one's different. They're shorter, they get shorter at the top. Then I go in and add more flames behind the ones I already had. Any spaces I have, I fill in with little line work, kind of like those curly cues at the bottom, to look like the little down at the bottom of the feathers. And then the feathery strokes in between, and pull them out sometimes and give them a little curly cue tip. I usually draw with black, but here I wanted to use sepia and then accent with black. Then I pulled out my masking fluid and I got it all over my favorite shirt, so don't do what I did and spill it on yourself. I masked off the little feathery areas between the flames. Because I want to paint the flames first with Twinkling H2Os, be sure to activate these with water about 5 minutes before using. I wish that the camera would show you how shimmery these paints are. They're not glittery. They're shimmery though, and they're beautiful. I'm blotting off a little extra color that I didn't want there. I went over them, let them dry a couple of times, went over them and made different vivid colors there. Here I used my liquid mask to go ahead and mask in the flames that I'd already painted, so the whole feather's masked in at this time. And I'm adding my background. Unfortunately, my camera quit while I was adding the background, and I had to go back and start it again. So you didn't get to see how much fun I had splashing that color in there. But it's okay to let it run across the masked area, because you're going to pull that off later. And I had a hard time stopping. I had such a good time playing with this background that I didn't want to quit. So finally, I guess I convinced myself that it was time to leave it alone, let it dry. It has to dry before I can go any further with it. So I actually left it overnight. But here I'm lifting the paper, letting it run. Like I said, had a hard time stopping. It was so pretty the next morning when I came in and I started rubbing off this mask, pulling it away, and I didn't have it quite as perfected, which is not always a problem for me, but I wanted to fill in some of the color that didn't get filled in exactly. So when I pulled that mask off, I began working with some of my art pens to clean up the edges. Here you see me drawing in with the art pens on top of the watercolor. But I went back to my Twinkling H2Os and added more color. And you know, a lot of times in art, your materials make a lot of difference. The quality of your materials do. I would consider Twinkling H2Os to be one of my high quality products. Try it out. Splash them around, have some fun with it. You don't have to make a feather, you can make your own work. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to help. Just give me a holler at my blog or over at ColourArte. And thank you for watching.